man, who's done this to the bike?
You need a new crank, it's a full engine rebuild.
Whoa, there she goes.
Stick my finger in the exhaust hole. At this point, we'll pass foreplay.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's bad. All right, so we've got an Aerox on the channel. This is a customer's bike that's come into me because it needs some work. As it stands right now, it's not running, but apparently when it does run, it's very fast. Before we get into why this bike has come to me and what work I'm going to be doing on it, let's just assess the Aerox. I've never had an Aerox on the channel or had this opportunity to be this close to one, so there's a few things that I definitely don't like. It does need some work. I'm not going to be doing a lot of the work. I'm just going to get it running again as far as I'm aware.
So that was a f***ing lie.
But there's a lot of things I would change if this was my bike. The side stand being one of them. I don't like it. I don't trust it. Bodywork definitely wants redoing in the future. And I believe it is going to get some panels in the near future, so that's good. I'm not loving this throttle. It's super sloppy. Tried adjusting this a little bit to put some tension on it, but that doesn't seem right. I feel like something should be locking this in. But when we twist, 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 that's full throttle, and then look at the grip. The grip is spinning without the actual throttle lever underneath, so that's a bit sketchy. I'm not a fan of aftermarket handlebars anymore. You guys know that if you saw my older video as to why we went back to stock on the Typhoon and painted them gold. I think it's got shorter brake levers on it as well. I think they're just a bit too far down. We can tilt them back a little bit more up here. That would be better than doing this with your wrists. As you can see right here, it's got braided brake lines. That's always a good improvement to make on any vehicle. Unlike both of my bikes, this has a disc brake on the back, so we're getting fluid to the back and a caliper instead of drums and shoes. Whereas on my bikes, there is no caliper, there is no disc brake, it's just the drums and shoes and cables instead of a caliper and fluid. Yeah, if you look underneath the bike, there's also a dent in the exhaust, and on two-strokes, it's pretty important that your exhaust doesn't have any dents in it.
Let's have a look and see if you guys can see that. Right there. Yeah.
I've been told by the owner, it's not getting fuel to the spark plug. When he's been trying to turn the bike over, the spark plug is coming out dry, completely bone dry. He thinks it might be the crank seals, but I'm guessing there's going to be quite a few air leaks all around. So that is the first thing I'm going to jump straight into, is an air leak down test. So for that, we're going to have to take the exhaust off and make sure that the piston's at bottom dead center. And I'll talk a little bit about my air leak down test kit that I've got, because a lot of people ask me where I got it from, but the truth is you can't just buy it. You kind of have to make it and build it yourself. I think there might be some kits you can just buy, but they'll be stupidly overpriced. I did say I wanted to sell the Yaris before I took on any work, but this came up and I wasn't going to say no. Let's go ahead and get this bike fixed, and then hopefully we'll have some more space, because right now I'm pretty cramped. So yeah, we need a bigger workspace for sure. Let's get this exhaust off. Immediately regretted not using my power tools. I don't like side stands. She's moving, man, she's moving. Got a little plug right here just hanging out. You see that right there? I'm guessing that's for the auto choke, which it probably doesn't have anymore. Max design speed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a lot faster than that, and it sure as hell probably not a 49cc. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a 70 kit on this. Question is, does it wheelie?
Now these, hopefully, are what I'm used to. It should be a 10. I used to hate doing exhaust systems on these, but they're actually really easy. I think I was just worried when I was a kid, you know, of over-tightening these bolts and destroying the cylinder kit threads, but there's nothing to worry about. This is the easiest part of working on these, I think. Oh man, I'm so tempted to just go get the power tools. Oh, why did you keep getting tight and then loose again, you bloody thing? Speaking right into the microphone there. Making out with this bloody thing. Let's have a look. Oh, it's just coolant. It's covered in coolant. I know there's no coolant in the bike right now, so we need to make sure I put coolant back in it before we start trying to test it. Oh, this one's being a bit of a pain in the ass to get on. Fuck this. I'm getting the tools. I'll tell you what I do like about the water cooled. Got their own temperature sensor built in, so you don't have to use those stupid spark plug rings. There we go. It's got two gaskets on it. Why has it got two gaskets on it? And they're not doing a very good job. They won't replace it for sure. I'm guessing this exhaust hasn't been off. Oh, there's coolant in the exhaust. That means there's coolant in the cylinder, potentially. That is not good. Someone's done a right crap job of taking the restrictor out of there if there was one, because that's all bent in like crazy. Yeah, I reckon a new exhaust should definitely go on the list, because that's bent to hell as well. And it looks quite restrictive, this, to be honest. It's quite small. Okay, let's get the air leak down test. And as you can see, another reason why I don't like side stands, it makes the bike very hard to work on. This is crazy as well. Look at how high your feet are on this. It's so high up. It's like a little hover machine. This is my air leak down test kit, and I'll show you more on that in a second. Once we've got the piston at bottom dead center,
and then we're ready to start. Now I'm just going to take the CVT casing off. It's missing a couple of bolts actually. That seems a bit too high as well. It shouldn't be mounted there, it should be mounted in line. Okay, that one's just spinning. Either the threads in the casing are knackered, or that's not long enough, and I'm guessing it's the threads in the casing. But I have a tap and die set, I might be able to fix that. Okie dokie. Oh, stinky nice.
Jesus! Jesus! That's gasoline!
Maybe the crank seals are gone. Damn. How's the belt fitment? Hey, the belt fitment's not bad. Hey, look at that. That is some good belt fitment. That's really good. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I like that. I need the piston at bottom dead center. So I'm just gonna stick my finger in the exhaust hole. It's okay, she likes it. At this point, we'll pass foreplay. And just turn over the crank until I feel that the piston is all the way at the bottom. There she is, that's bottom dead center. Okay, oh, Jesus Christ. Turns out it's not always pink on the inside. Get it nice and clean so that we've got a good mating surface for this. So an air leak down test, what is it? Two-stroke engines often have air leaks unless you seal them up real good and proper. You don't want air leaks because you can blow your engine, it'll cause it to run lean and it can just make it run like shit, or not run at all in this case. So what we're gonna do, we've got this little rubber piece right here on the end and then behind it metal. I'm gonna bolt that to the exhaust port and seal off the exhaust port. And then I'm gonna take the carburetor out. Where is it? Oh, that looks like a right pain to get to. Great. And then we're gonna stick this into the intake, pump it up to 6 PSI, and hopefully the gauge doesn't go down. It's gonna go down, definitely gonna go down. And then we're gonna have air leaks on the engine. So we're gonna spray soapy water over everywhere where I think there could be an engine air leak, and it will push bubbles out, and we'll see it visually and hear it probably as well. I'm guessing they're everywhere on this. It's gonna be a pain in the ass, I think. But that's how you do an air leak down test, and you want to get rid of all those air leaks. The engine should then hold 6 PSI for at least 30 minutes, and you're good to go, your bike's ready to rip. Yeah, Jesus, how did I manage that? You can tell when someone has just thrown a bike together and not done it, you know, with dedication. So whoever sold this bike to my friend, I'm guessing you did this work, and I hope you watch the channel. And why is the subframe gold and black underneath?
I love gold!
Spent a good half an hour trying to get the seat to open, and it just won't open. That's the key out the ignition. You're supposed to put it in the ignition, turn left and push and lift, and it just won't open. But I need to get under the seat to get the seat bucket out so we can get to the carburetor and all the plastics, and it just, I don't know. Let's have a look and see what's under this panel right here. Some water. A cable that's come out. There's a few loose cables here and here. Not sure what they are. I don't know how I'm going to get this seat open if it won't open. Well, we'll come back to when I actually get it open, or I'll find a workaround. Okay, I've managed to get the side panels off and get myself into a gap here so I can get a screw out. Okay, that should allow me to remove the carb. I don't think the carb was actually far enough into the intake manifold. As far as I'm aware, it's a stage 6 intake manifold, and if it's anything like mine, it was a nightmare to get the carb to go in. You got to heat the boot and then the carb will slip in a lot easier, but I don't think the carb was in all the way like it should be. I still need to get the seat out though. I need to be able to see what I'm doing to properly check for where these air leaks are going to be. Still going to turn into a big job, I think. Yoink. Okay. Okay, she's in. She's in. I just can't seem to do anything I want to do on this bike. It's a pain in the ass. You can see there, we've got this pipe that's right here running into the intake boot, which is connected to the leak down tester. Air leak central. That's the biggest air leak I've ever seen. It's not pumping anything. That's so bad. There's air leaks everywhere, I'm guessing, not just crank seals. If it's coming out of multiple places like crazy, I can't pump fast enough to actually see where the bubbles are coming from. We need to get this out. I need to try and figure out how to get this out. But yeah, in the meantime, roll some B-roll and play music. Let's go.
Love's a game, I'll shoot my shot. Breathe you in tonight. Hold you close till morning comes. Babe, is that alright? Still on my body, I'll taste you.
We got there in the end. Just reached in, unlatched this with my fingers. I don't know why it's not working on the key. Probably got air leaks maybe around here on these points, the actual manifold to the engine block. A bit of a kink right in there, I don't know. I'm guessing that's for water ports. I don't know if you actually need that to flow. What else is down here? Wait a minute, what? How many things are not connected on this bike? Got my work cut out for me on this one, oh my days. That's stiff. Jesus Christ, that's stiff. That probably wants replacing, that's pretty bad.
And it's missing some fins. Oh, that's a stiff spring. Jesus Christ, what's in there? Right, okay, we're gonna have to take this off. Come on. Rollers everywhere. What is this? Polini. Oh, it's knackered though, it needs replacing. Everything needs replacing is what I'm seeing. Who built this, man? And who sold it in this condition? There's what looks like oil or something right here. So yeah, crank seal's probably gone. It's not in right, look at it. It's too far in at the bottom there and it's hanging out at the top. It's the crank seal's obviously not doing its job. Let's see if we get any air leaks right there. I mean, we're definitely gonna, but... Oh my God. Oh, that's bad. Well, that might be the air leak that we've been looking for. That's not going to be the only one, but I am hoping it's the only one, but it won't be. But I don't know what else might need doing. I might just advise that we order a whole bunch of parts to the customer and replace a whole bunch of things to do with air leaks, just in case, like new gasket set for the cylinder kit, manifold gasket. So yeah, major air leak. We found that pretty quick. I'm so glad we found it on this side and not on the other side. It could be on the other side. We're going to have to check both sides yet, but that's not doing anything at all. Not doing its job. I would advise crank seals, a new front pulley, a new variator. It's not all necessary to get it running, but I mean, for now, let's just focus on what gets it running and let the customer take care of the other little itty bitty bits that they want to fix.
All right, so the parts have finally arrived. We've got full gasket kit, base gasket, intake manifold gaskets, and top end gaskets. We've got exhaust gaskets, and we've got crank seals. So let's try and get these crank seals installed and get the old ones out, and hopefully that'll be a big step towards getting this bike to stop leaking air.
So what I'm going to do is just try and use one of these picks to try and get that crank seal back out. There we go, that was easy. Now the other one's probably going to be a bit harder to get back out. Now we'll clean up this area and get the next seal in. I need to go and get my crank installation tool actually. What is that? There we go. Little springy ring thing for the crank seal. It retains the seal against the crankshaft.
I'm going to use a little bit of brake cleaner and just clean up that surface inside. Yeah, that's pretty clean. Polini is what we've gone with. We've got a big seal and a small seal, and it's pretty obvious which one's which. We'll be sticking this large one straight in. That is perfect. So that's going to be going in there like that. But first we're going to put some 2-stroke oil on the inside right there, so it slips on nicely. And on the outside we're going to use some thread lock, which is probably why these seals blew out in the first place, because somebody probably didn't use thread lock. I've had no issues with crank seals falling out of my bikes anyway, so I'm going to keep doing it. Don't need loads, just enough to get it lubricated. Again, you don't need loads of thread lock either. We'll just smooth that in all the way around, just like that, and that's it, good to go. There we go. And now we're going to take this tool for installing crank seals, and you only need to push these in by hand. You don't need a hammer or anything. That's looking pretty damn good. A little bit of thread lock that might have came off, we'll just get that, and that shouldn't blow out. I'm trapped.
Yeah, there we go. What the hell? What is going on here? What is this? There's a hole in the seat box and all these weird ridges, like it's melted against something hot. That's crazy. All right, let's get this casing off.
Oh, that's great, they're coming off nice and easy. But yeah, they were not tight. There we go. Oh, there's coolant in there. That's for turning the water pump. Okay, that's pretty cool. Feels like an old telephone dial. I'm getting coolant all over the place. Take the center one off. Whoa, coolant nearly got me. Coolant nearly got me.
Oh, thank God. I was gonna say them threads don't seem clever. It's the nut. The nut's got no threads left in it. That was a dangerous situation waiting to happen. Good thing we found that. I'm hoping I have a replacement nut. Oh, the crank threads don't look amazing, to be honest. Oh, man, who's done this to the bike? I don't know if we're going to be able to use the crank or not. I hope we can. Let's get the flywheel off. I'm just hoping these threads are okay, but I don't know, man, they don't seem amazing. Which is a full engine rebuild kind of job. I don't mind doing it if the customer wants it, but we'll see if we can get a nut back on there nicely and securely to save the customer some time and money if the engine's good to go. But if not, we might have to do a full engine rebuild, because that's not ideal. But again, it's mainly this that's been completely chewed. Oh man. It's a shame when people do stuff like that. I get it, you know, you just ruined your bike, quick, get it on Facebook Marketplace and get rid of it, it's someone else's problem, but
It's sly, man. Especially if you're selling it to some kid who's young and can't fix it himself or afford it, you know what I mean? If it was me, it wouldn't bother me. I mean, it would bother me. I'd be like, what the fuck, man? But still, I can fix it. I'll see if I've got a spare nut. I might have to order one. It's probably gonna need a whole new crank. Let's try and hold this in place. Oh, that one's loose. Is this one gonna come loose? There we go. That was easy. That was really easy. There we go. Interesting, man. I've never seen these before, but I get it, obviously, to turn the water pump. It's pretty cool. I'll have to get a water-cooled bike next. What do you reckon, guys? Let's go get a crank puller and then we can take a look at these. We have a flywheel nut that we can put on here and it might work. I hope it does, because I don't want to have to tell the customer, right, you need a new crank, it's a full engine rebuild. Yeah, that's a shame. There we go. Came off really nice and easy. Ooh, yeah, she's tight. We don't even know if this one's leaking or not, but it's best to definitely replace it. If you're doing one, you might as well do the other. Move this out of the way. Let's go ahead and take this little bolt off, and I reckon that seal might just fall out. There we go, that comes off. Oh, that stinks. I think it is leaking.
Yeah! Yeah,
Is
yeah,
it?
that's definitely, woo!
Yeah, it's covered in what looks like oil right there. There we go, that fell out well easy. That's great. On the other side of the engine, you can see the bearings right there, and on this side, you can't. There's like a cover, a cage to the bearings. Right, let's clean the crank and get the new seal in. That should be nicely clean. That's such an easy crank seal to replace. I'm not surprised if this one were leaking too, because they don't really hold in too well, do they? Slide that on down. There's a sharp bit right there. See it now? Stood up there. Proper little sharp bit. I think that's it. I think it just broke off. So slide this in here like that. Now what we could do, wait for that to seal and then do an air leak down test and see if anything else is leaking, like the cylinder kit, but obviously there was a lot of coolant in the exhaust system for some reason, so I'm guessing the cylinder kit is leaking, hence why I've already ordered a replacement gasket set for the cylinder. I'm tempted to just crack on with that now, take the cylinder kit off, get the new gasket on, seal it all up with Honda Bond, and then check for any air leaks. You are supposed to let these set and seal in, but see if it holds a little bit of pressure now. It's holding pressure, it's leaking a little bit somewhere. The nut that I've got won't go on there, and it's because the threads on the crank have been stretched and pulled from whoever's over tightened that original nut, which is what destroyed the threads on the nut. So I've looked into it, and the most common crankshaft sizes, threads on these are M10 by 1.25. So I've ordered a tap and die set. We're going to try and clean these threads up and a new nut to go on, and hopefully it's the right size and a new nut will fix it. We're also going to put a bit of thread lock on there just to make sure it definitely stays on after we've recut the threads. Failing that, it's a full engine rebuild, but I'm hoping this will work. I'm hoping there's not coolant in the cylinder. It's possible, but as long as we flush it out and it's not bent the rod, we should be fine. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Oh, it's got a little bit of scoring. There's a bit of rust actually in the cylinder, that's not good. There is some scoring. I know this thing did overheat one time. That stud seems a bit loose. Yeah, these studs are a bit loose as well. Things I've noticed now that we've got the belly panel off, the HT lead just fell right off, so that's not actually biting onto this HT lead right here. So we may need to replace that HT lead, but I'm tempted to just pull the engine out real quick. I'm just going to disconnect this wire right here so we can get the stator out and keep it all still attached to the bike. Perfect, that's the stator. I think that's it. Yeah, that should be it. Just the suspension bolt, subframe bolt, and it should bring the engine out. And then we can make sure there's no water in it. There we go. She's in the air. That's the engine down. Yeah, she sits. Let's take a look at this engine. See what's going on. I think it might be alright. Might be dry. That's what we want, that's what we need. Pour some 2-stroke in there, or gently turn her around. Just flush her out. Let's tip it up. Get all the oil out. There's a bit of coolant in there, but this is good. This is good. As said earlier, there's a bit of scoring right here. Can't really feel it. It's not too bad, but I've advised the customer and I'm going to let them decide whether or not they want me to do a cylinder kit on it, but they probably won't. They'll probably want to do that themselves. They just wanted to get it running again, and the main issue was air leaks. So we're going to fix those air leaks. We've done the crank seals. We're going to put a new set of gaskets on the manifold and the cylinder kit, and I think she'll be ready to run again very soon. I think someone's stripped the thread on the case and put a thread insert in.
Nothing wrong with that, I mean it works, but yeah, someone's not been too careful.
Taste you on my tongue. You left a mark you can't undo. Fever gone.
Let's get this cleaned up. Oh yeah, that gasket's a bit knackered. Split. It's a good thing really that we bought what we bought, because this is going to definitely fix it. That is so split. Oh, that's knackered. That wouldn't have been helping. It's really wet in here. I think coolant was definitely getting into the cylinder. It's weird, like, working on an old bike like this and trying to put parts back on it instead of just putting new parts on, which is what I'm used to doing. But it's going to be a little ripper though when it's done. And we don't have to break it in because it's not a fresh engine, it's already done the miles. And you can tell. We should probably clean these studs up and get these back in, because they're looking like crap.
Cause every high just calls your name.
Got the base gasket on. Slide the cylinder kit down and check the squish with the other gaskets on. Nice and lubricated. This is the fun part, squeezing the piston rings together. Perfect. Just need to get some solder, tape it to the top of the piston and squish it and then measure it. There we go. Have a little look. Oh yeah, I squished it. So we're measuring that squished bit right there, if you can see that. 0.7, that's perfect. Let's pull this back off, Honda bond it up, seal it, and we should be good to go. So we've checked the squish, it's between 0.6 and 0.7, I'm very happy with that. We're just going to add a little bit of Honda bond and seal it up. Just going to rub a little bit more oil in the cylinder before we slide it down. And then we're going to try and get away with not Honda bonding the head. I think with all these rubber gaskets, it should be fine. Alright, so it's been more than 24 hours now since we put in the crank seals and resealed the cylinder kit on. So we're going to test for any air leaks, but I've not resealed the inlet manifold, so I'm guessing it might leak there. So we want to see the gauge hold 6 psi for like 30 minutes. It looks like it's holding pretty well. It might be going down though. Yeah, it's definitely going down. And spray around here, because this is what I'm guessing is going to be leaking. Yeah, straight away, leaking right there. You just see it bubbling. Huge bubble. Definitely leaking on the intake manifold, so we're going to have to reseal that. But I knew it would be. Called it. Yeah, the gauge has gone down to 3 psi, so obviously still leaking quite badly. Oh, the gasket's completely broke there. It might have just ripped as we pulled it up, I don't know, but looks like someone has tried to put some sealant on it at some point. There we go, that's all in. Right, we're going to need a razor blade or something, I think, to get this off, because it is not coming off easy. Okay, we should be ready to reseal this. We just need the gasket. We'll pull it out upside down just so that everything definitely falls out as we pull the tissue out. Right, we're ready to Honda bond. It's looking pretty good. Yeah, it's so cold right now, and even when it wasn't this cold, these Stage 6 manifolds are really, really hard work to push a carburetor into, or even this little pipe at this point. You need to heat that up and get it soft, otherwise it's just so hard to get something in there. Okay, we're ready. So we're going to Honda bond a gasket onto here, and then we can Honda bond the reed valves onto the gasket and the intake manifold onto the reed valves. And that should seal it up, I hope. Okay, that should be good. Nice, and then we can get this in. Yeah, it's definitely that one. That should hopefully seal up, but you never know. It's not always as easy as just doing the job and it actually works. Sometimes you just got to do it again until you get it right and it doesn't actually seal. So let's see how she's doing today. Okay, it looks like it's doing pretty well. It's definitely a lot better than it was. Let's go right to 6. And now we can wait half an hour, or we can just start spraying and see what we see. But that's holding pretty good. Miles better than it was. So we've definitely made some major improvements The bike will run now at this, like that is good enough to get it running, but we could just check and see if there's any other air leaks and try and fix them. I'm just looking mainly around the cylinder studs, the head, the base, between the two halves of the crankcase, obviously all around the intake manifold, and also these little bungs, anywhere the air could come out basically, but it's looking pretty good. I'm not seeing anything obvious right now. We'll wait until it's 11:15 and then we can check and see if the gauge has gone down. It's holding at 6 right now, like it's been about a minute or two and it's not even moved a little bit. That is great news, but can we fix the crankshaft? I'm gonna start on that right now, I think, and I may need a piston stopper to stop the piston from turning as I'm trying to cut the new threads onto the crankshaft. So the gauge is going down. It's not been half an hour yet, but we've gone down to just over half a PSI. And I've been looking everywhere trying to find it on the crankcase everywhere. And I think I found it. If you look right there on the corner of the intake manifold, you can just see it bubbling a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. So we'll slap a bit more Honda Bond on that little area. These piston stoppers, so basically it's the shape of a spark plug, only it's just a bolt. You put it in, you turn the crankshaft over by hand until the piston touches against the bottom of this piston stopper, and then the crankshaft can't move, and then we'll be able to re-tap or re-dye those threads and hopefully get them fixed without the crankshaft trying to turn as I'm trying to cut the threads. But yeah, tiny little air leak. It's funny because it looks like spider eggs. It's a little bubble right there. Oh, it is raining hard right now. I don't know if you guys can hear that on the camera. I'm glad we found that air leak. We'll get that fixed soon. Let's try and fix these crankshaft threads real quick. Oh yeah, that's going right in there. That's nice. There we go. Now the piston's touching. It's held in place and we can take a look at this and see what's going on. So we've ordered this tap and die set. It's M10 by 1.25 and we've got a new M10 by 1.25 nut ready to go on. We'll just use a little bit of 2-stroke, I think. That should be okay. There we go, just a little bit of oil. Okay, moment of truth. Oh my god, this is so easy. This is really good news. This is definitely a handy tool to have, especially if you're going to be working on scooters all the time, because you never know, you might get sold something with a damaged crank, and maybe this will save you from having to do a full engine rebuild, and maybe we can put it to the test in a future video. This is an M10 by 1.25 nut, and it's not specifically for the flywheel, but the customer was happy to go with a generic one from Amazon, which is where we got the tap and die set from. Now, yes, oh my god, if I was the customer right now, I would be buzzing. I'd be so happy with that. Right, let's get this on. If you look right in there, can you see that little cutout, that little notch? Hopefully you see that. It needs to line up with, see that little piece there, that little lip sticking out the crank? That is called your woodruff key, and the flywheel needs to line up with that. So if you're trying to put your flywheel back on and you're like, why won't it go on? What am I doing wrong? You're probably not lined up with the woodruff key. I'm so happy for the customer right now. And for myself, that's a huge win that we've just saved that crankshaft. So we'll tighten that up, then take it back off just to push the flywheel in, and then we can put a bit of thread lock on and we're good to go. Okay, so we've just Honda bonded the manifold and hopefully it'll be set and no more air leaks tomorrow. We'll see how bad it is. If there might be an air leak and it might only be a tiny little one, but we'll see, because sometimes you can just about get away with it. If it's like half a PSI in half an hour, you're probably fine. When it came to us, it wouldn't hold half a PSI for half a second. This engine couldn't hold a fart to save its life. So now it can, which is great. These two little inlet and outlets are to take coolant to the carburetor, to heat the carburetor maybe in the winter, or cool the carburetor, but they don't. They will just heat up the carburetor, and it's not something you want to have running to your engine. Maybe if you use the bike in winter, you'd want to use these coolant lines to your carb. I wouldn't do it myself. I'd just leave it like this, because you want your carburetor to stay as cool as possible to try and keep your engine temps down as well. You'll just get a much better air to fuel ratio if your carburetor's as cold as possible and you're not heating it up and heating up the air that's traveling through into the engine and making it less dense. This being kinked doesn't matter. It's fine. Everything else that the coolant needs to do is doing its job. That's fine. We can leave that as it is. All right. This is like day 3 now of making sure this is sealed up. I reckon this is going to be it. I think it's going to be sealed. It's bloody freezing. Let's start pumping 6 PSI in while I go and make a cup of tea, and we'll wait 30 minutes and see if there's any more air leaks. But I think this is it. I think we've got it. It is leaking air still. Yeah, air leaks, man. They're a bad thing, but let's try and find it. It's important to have quite a lot of soap in your water when you do this, because that is where you really see the bubbles. Come on, where are you? Where are you? You appear to be leaking air somewhere, so where is it? Yeah, that's a tiny bit of an air leak right there. That's crazy. That is actually crazy. Alright, so I checked again last night and there was a bit more of an air leak, so I sealed it up last night. I've just checked again this morning and finally there's no more air leaks and the engine can go back into the bike. It's been like 3 days of trying to fix the air leaks, so I'm so glad that it's finally done. I do need to see if I've got some more HT lead lying around I can swap this thing out for, because the HT lead that we've got isn't biting onto the screw that's inside there, so we need to do something about that. Guessing this is a resistor. Now I know a lot of spark plugs already come with resistance already in them, so not sure why it's got this on here, but we're going to just leave it as it was and try and keep this intact. Put a little bit of thread lock in there and send her home. Alright, so hopefully today we can start the bike. I'm going to change the main jet in the carburetor first and then get all the plastics back on, hook up all the coolant lines, put some coolant in and see if it'll start up and we can finally get it back to the customer. Now we need to get the coolant out of the seat whilst we still can before we can't open that seat again, because I'm pretty sure it just won't open. It might need a whole new cable mechanism to get it to open, but I suppose that's kind of why it's a cool feature to have unlocking your seat from the ignition barrel, but it's much better to just have a keyhole next to your seat that opens your seat, saves the drama. So that's going to hook up there and then this one's going to go right here. The choke that's on it, it's got a choke cable instead of just a choke on the carb, and it's not really mounted anywhere in particular, so we're going to try and see where that can go. I'm not too sure. We're going to need to take this panel off so we can get to the coolant bottle, which is there. We're just going to bring this up a little bit. That seems a lot better than the right one. Yeah, that is miles better. Let's lock that back in. That's much better. Let's get that mounted back in. Jesus, hello, what are you? You're a wasp or a bee? I don't know what you are, you're weird looking. Just go away, man. It stinks of fumes. Why would you want to be here right now? Get out of here. Oh man, that's fuel. That's definitely got fuel going to it. That's not what I was expecting. What size is that? Why are there no numbers on this? So this is the other one that came off. It's got all sealant or something on it. This came with the bike. Let's see what's in here. 102 main jet. We'll probably just fold the 102 back in. Need to get this out of here. There we go. Get that back in. That definitely wanted replacing. I don't know who's used sealant on it. If your carb's that bad, just start again, get a new one. Now we've got to try and get the carb into that boot, so we're going to heat this boot up with the heat gun real quick and get it nice and soft. It's not going in. It is not going in. I hate these. Intake manifolds are just not very good at all. I'm not surprised the carb wasn't in properly. There we go, she's in, she's in. Hello again. You're interested in this, yeah? Yeah, alright, that's enough. Now to figure out how this goes back together, because it's been quite a few days since I took all this off. That's how it goes. This goes underneath this cog, which we didn't remove that cog, but this one goes underneath. That goes onto there. This plate goes on. As far as I'm aware, the starter motor didn't actually work before the bike came to me, I was told. However, it still needed the spacing of the variator, so we're leaving it all in. So I just put in shims in. Now there are some shims. I don't remember where these came from, but being shims, my guess is between the front pulley and the variator. That's where shims is normally supposed to go, unless someone's put them on in the wrong place, but that's exactly how we're going to put it back in. I may just weigh these roller weights real quick and just see what they are so that we know, in case any of those roller weights, which don't have any numbers on them, are different than one another, because it could be mix and match and we want to make sure that they're opposites. If these are 3 grams, you need 3 gram, 3 gram, 3 gram. These could be 3.5s, we don't know, or they're not going to be that light, but you get what I'm saying. They need to be opposites. We can't have 3, 3, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5. They need to be opposites, and I don't know what they are. So we're going to weigh them real quick before we put them back in. Okay, let's see what we've got. Yeah, that definitely wants replacing. It's lost all its coating. Looks like they're all 4s. Okay, so they're all 4 gram. That's very light. Yeah, this all wants replacing. Needs an entire new variator, in my opinion. That is such a stiff contra. There we go. Yeah, I think this torque driver wants replacing as well. It's kind of rusty and pitted looking. There we go. Perfect. And then this. Alright, she's ready, more or less. Just needs to get the coolant in, and I think she should start. Okay, let's get this back on. Lined up, that needs changing, it's way too high, so we're going to do that as well real quick. Let's get that back in. Now let's get the coolant in, make sure she runs, then we'll start putting the plastics on and do the boring stuff. Testicles 1 and 2. Oh, my battery is dead. My battery. Oh, my battery is dead. So my main camera has died. All 3 batteries aren't charged apparently, even though they're in a charging case. So I don't know what's going on there. But we've got some coolant, and we've moved the plastics just enough to be able to get the coolant in. It's going in. I don't know how much it takes, but we've been given 1 litre, so that's what's going in. Right, let's see if she'll start. I think that's pretty much everything we need to do. I'm gonna leave the cap off for now and just keep an eye on it. There we go, it's the choke open. And now she should fire over as long as she's got fuel and we fill the carburetor up. The exhaust needs to go back on. Oh man, I was ready. That would have been so loud. Oh, we can't do that. Right, exhaust gaskets, where are you? Man, I hate side stands. That is butchered, man. Someone has butchered that. I've just cleaned it all up. It was really dirty, but it's got a big slice mark right there. Someone's gone at it with like an angle grinder or a Dremel. I want to get this on, but I want to Honda bond it, which means I can't run the bike today. I want it to seal, so I'll have to wait 24 hours. So I'm going to just try and start the bike without this real quick. It's going to be loud as hell. And then we'll Honda bond this and get this on. But I just want to make sure the bike starts before we put the exhaust on. Should fire up once the fuel is in the cab. Should fire straight up. Why is it not firing? It's not firing. It should definitely fire now, even with the exhaust off. Why is it not firing?
Later that same evening.
It's fixed. It's running loud because the exhaust isn't on. Exhaust is knackered, by the way. Obviously, not only the dents, we found that it's been chopped up with an angle grinder or a Dremel. Going to seal that with Honda bond and a new gasket and get it on. Get all the plastics back on. It needs more coolant. Needs a new throttle cable for sure. This bike has been a nightmare. Way more work than I was expecting. I thought it was just going to be crank seals. We've done a real good job working on this for the customer, so I'm hoping they're going to be happy. Yeah, hopefully this gets views on YouTube because I need to make some more money. Oh my days. Right, I'm going to stop filming, get everything back together, and you'll see me again tomorrow. The Aerox is all back together. It finally runs. It's raining pretty hard right now. I was going to take it for a test ride today, but I'm running out of time. I've had this bike for about 2 weeks now, just trying to get it running again. It ended up being a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. It runs just about. The carburetor definitely needs setting up, and I'm really short on time because I'm going away on holiday, so I want to get this back to the customer so they can do any little tuning and tweaking that they need to do themselves. The issue that I'm having now is that it starts, but it doesn't want to move. And it's struggling like crazy to rev. It could just be all carb tuning and it's not getting enough engine revs. So we need to get them revs really high for it to set off. And obviously it's got some aftermarket clutch springs in there as well, but it doesn't want to move at all for some reason. So either it's carb tuning or the CVT needs some work, but I think it's all down to the carb. My job was to get the bike running again and fix all the air leaks. We've done that. I might have to just see what I can do right now off camera. Maybe I can try and get it going, but I might need the bike for one more day. But I'm going away on holiday any second now. I really don't have much more time. This is what I'm dealing with right now. That's full throttle. It does run, it revs, but it ain't moving anywhere and it's not revving anywhere near high enough. So I'm going to put that down to carb tuning. So I'll just open the choke, see what happens. Way worse. It could be running too rich. I mean, I don't really know what 70 kit's on there. We never knew. It's just a 70 kit. We don't know what it is. And the exhaust is quite restrictive as well. Maybe it wants to be a bit leaner. I know we can get to the jet without taking the carb off, so I might just change that real quick and go a little bit smaller, and let's just see if it runs a little bit better on full throttle. So here's the spark plug that just came out. I think it's way too rich. It's pretty damn wet and clean looking. I think it's too rich, and I'm not surprised, especially if we're just trying to get it going. So I'm just gonna clear the spark plug out real quick, the spark plug hole. You know how this goes. I give it a kick over to try and clear it out, but let's just see. She's full of fuel. Oh, there she goes. There she goes. All right. Maybe it's way too rich. And the jetting that was in the bike was because it had major air leaks from the previous owner. And now the air leaks are fixed. So probably we don't need anywhere near that larger jetting. Maybe 100 is way too big for this bike. That's probably what it is. Let's down jet it. All right. So we've gone from 102 to a 98 main jet. And I've changed the spark plug because that one was definitely wet. Damn, it's cold. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Give it a little bit of throttle. But it's already idling a lot higher. That's way better already. Still not right though. Right, well, it's revving a lot better, so it was obviously way too rich. I'm gonna mess with the fuel mixture screw real quick and just see if I can get it running a little bit better, but it might even need to go a little bit leaner. All right, I'm getting blasted with hailstone right now and rain, and I was gonna go and ride in this. Nice. The fuel mixture screw, because that's what it is, it's not an air mixture screw, is not doing anything really. It's not making any real difference. I think it's still way too rich, so again, I'm going to drop the main jet even lower. We've gone from a 96 down to a 90. That's pretty small, really, for a 70. But we'll see how she runs, and hopefully she's all right, or better than it was. So if I go again, here we go. And hopefully we've not fouled that spark plug. There we go. There we go. She's moving now. Finally, we're getting in the right direction. It was all just carburetor related tuning as to why the bike wouldn't move. All right, she's getting there now. And I don't think we've got any leaner jets from the customer. Oh, I got a wet ass, man. Why is it smoking? My ass is on fire. Okay, we're getting there. We was at 102, we've gone all the way down to 90 and it's still too rich. I'm gonna see if there's any leaner jets and go again and just keep going. This is crazy. I know I've got jets somewhere, loads of jets, so we can probably get this dialed in. Also, I keep forgetting to tell you, so when the bike first came to us at the beginning of the video, you saw that this throttle was, the grip was spinning without the throttle. I've glued the grip onto the throttle, so now it just locks in. But again, it needs a new cable. Something's not right. There's so much play and you can't even adjust it because this is just all over the place. I don't know. It needs a new cable, maybe a whole new throttle. I did say get yourself a quick throttle and a new cable because it'll be miles better. Because right now it's a bit, yeah, not ideal, but we're getting there. We're getting there, yes. Right, I'm going to change the jet again, I guess. Okay, so we put the stock jet back in that came with the cab, which is a 90 jet. Doesn't say it on the jet, but it does say it on the website. Unfortunately, all the jets I've got are M6 thread, and this requires M5 thread, so I can't go any lower than what we've got, which is a 90. It needs smaller jetting, and I don't have it. I think whoever was running 102 main jet in this bike when they sold it was overcompensating massively for air leaks. Now we fixed all the air leaks and the jetting's way too large. Now, if it was running too lean, I could either use larger jets, which would be great, but if I didn't have larger jets, I could at least block off the air filter and stop some of the air going in. But running too rich and me not having any smaller jets, I can't block a jet, you know? So yeah, that's about as good as I can get it for now, I think. But when I give it back to the customer, they've got a nice, easy job. It's running again. All the hard work's done. They've just got to rejet the carb, get it a bit leaner, and it should be running mint. But it was a lot of hard work, and it's in a much better condition now than it was when it came to us. I've also made it so the seat can't lock, so we can constantly open the seat whenever we want now, which is good. The customer can fix that, obviously, but to fix it, you need the seat to be able to open in the first place. So I've made it so the seat can't lock, and they can actually replace all the parts they need to if they want to do that, or leave it as it is. Now, there's only a few things that I need to do before we give the bike back to the customer. But first, I want you to check this out real quick. So if you're interested in a hoodie or a beanie, get on the website and buy them super quick because the stock is super low quantity. And I'm going to be posting this on TikTok where I've got 30,000 followers. It might sell out really, really, really quick. So if you want to grab something, grab it as fast as you can. You can also leave a tip by buying me a beer. It's pretty funny. You don't have to buy me anything, but you can go ahead and just check it out. Just look at it. It's pretty funny what I've set up. Now, there's only one more thing that I need to do before I give the bike back to the customer. Let's go do that. Yeah, look at that. We'll go ahead and stick this on the bike somewhere and get it back to the customer. I really wish I had those smaller jets, man. I think we were this close to just finalizing the bike and it being absolutely mint, but unfortunately I've run out of time and I need to get the bike back to the customer because I'm going away on holiday. So it's a shame, but the bike is in much better condition now than when it came to us. It wouldn't even run, air leak central, couldn't hold a fart to save its life. Crank seals hanging out, split top end gaskets, throttle grip not even holding onto the throttle lever. The brake levers were just too far down. We've lifted them up. I think they're going to be pretty happy. Also, I've got a Discord channel that I'm probably going to open up publicly. So if you guys want to come and join the Discord and be a part of a much larger group, a nice community, let me know and I'll send that link out and we'll start a nice little group and maybe start touring the country. I'll take my bikes in the van, we can meet up, and I'm probably going to do Europe as well next year. So if you're in Europe and you want to meet up, let me know. And of course, guys, if you've got problems with your bikes always reach out to me, let me know, I'll try and help you. But now I'm taking on customers' bikes. If you want to bring it to me, and obviously I don't have a holiday planned, let me know, and I can come and collect the bike, or you can have it delivered to me and we can drop it back off when it's done. And I'll do anything you need doing, just let me know what it is. There's a whole lot of bikes out there that are in this kind of condition and really could benefit from some too slow, two-stroke magic. Okay guys, I'll see you in the next one.
Home run, touchdown, buzzer beater, do it all now, top corner talking home run, touchdown, buzzer beater, do it all now, top